Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be starting a very exciting video, and that is reading all of our book box books from January 2026. I hit that first time try. Normally that takes me 5 or 6 times to actually get that right, so that is very exciting and a very good omen for starting this video. So anyway, we do have quite a few books to read in this video, and I have already finished. I am actually doing this intro after I have already finished and read all the books, so I'm going to try to be as not obvious about what happens in the video as I possibly can, but sometimes I just forget to do an intro, and that's what happened in this video. So I've been trying to be better about it, but sometimes you just forget. Sometimes you forget and then you put all your footage into your editor and then you're like, oh, we just started on the first book. There is no intro. So here is the intro. So anyway, like I said, we have quite a few books to get through, but really not that many when I look at the rest of the months that we have to go into. This actually probably has the least amount. I think February also has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think February also has 5, and then it gets significantly worse as we get further into the year because of new subscriptions, etc, etc, etc. So without further ado, let's talk about what books that we get to read in this video. Also, I would like to remind everybody that we did start a new thing towards the end of last year. When we did our last video, we did talk about how I want to read all of these books and try not to DNF these books. So I am going to try my best not to DNF anything. However, if I do decide to DNF something, I'm just gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna make myself force myself to read stuff I'm really hating. So we'll kind of decide things as we go along if it's worth DNFing or not. That's kind of the only rules, is try not to DNF, but you're still allowed to DNF. And also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. I'm trying to get through all these book box books. We will be reading very many of them and also doing unboxings if you haven't seen them yet. Make sure to check out the membership if you're interested. We will do some extra stuff on the membership relating to book boxes, especially with the book of the months and aardvarks and allurials right now. That's kind of what we're looking at on the membership side of things. And yeah, let's finally talk about these books because we read a lot. We read a lot. Obviously, our heavy hitters in these videos are going to be Illumicrates, Owlcrates, and Fairyloots. Like those are going to be our main picks that you're going to generally see in every single one of these videos. Obviously, I will be skipping things, but I don't think I really skipped anything as of this point. So we do have, oh, I don't have Swan's Daughter here. It's actually upstairs. Swan's Daughter from Fairyloot I don't have down here because I did have 2 copies of it, so the other copy is upstairs. But we are going to be reading Swan's Daughter, and this was both Fairyloot Young Adult and this is the Owlcrate Young Adult version. We will also be reading Graceless Heart, which was the adult Fairyloot. We will be reading Mystical Cat Shelter. This is the Owlcrate version. Again, we do have a Fairyloot edition somewhere here, and I think the Fairyloot edition came, no, it was supposed to be, I think, January's cozy pick. I think. This is where it gets a little bit funny because I don't remember if the Owlcrate adult was Mystical Cat Shelter. I'm gonna have to double check. But we have Mystical Cat Shelter. I don't remember if it was January's cozy pick for Fairyloot or it was Owlcrate's adult or it was the same month. I don't remember. I will put it down here about which book box it actually is counting for and which one the Owlcrate adult actually was in, because this wasn't an adult Owlcrate. I just don't remember what month for it. But anyway, Mystical Cat Shelter. We will also be reading the Poet Empress, and this was Illumicrate's choice. And I feel like you can tell which ones are Illumicrate and which ones are Fairyloot and which ones are Owlcrate. I feel like they all have their vibes. Like, this is obviously an Illumicrate book. So Poet Empress, and then we also have the fantasy subscription from the Broken Binding, and that is the Bone Shard Daughter. This is the first in the series. We will not be reading the other 2 books within this series. That is going to be members only, but if you're not a member, you will know what I think about them because I will put them in my wrap-ups, obviously, so you don't have to worry about it if you don't want to join a membership. So you will still hear about them and what I thought about them, just not in a vlog format unless you end up joining the membership. So Bone Shard Daughter, Broken Binding. So I think we are starting with, I think, like I haven't done the video yet. We are going to be starting with Graceless Heart. We're going to be starting with Graceless Heart because this is the one I am most nervous about because I haven't seen great things. And I also do not have a great track record with Isabella Banias. I loved the first book I ever read from her, and that was Woven in Moonlight. Loved it. 5 stars. Thought it was fantastic. Haven't read the second book in that little series, but I still have it and I do plan to read it. Then DNF like 2, I think, and then we read the Where the Library Hides series, the Something in the Nile series. I have both of them from Fairyloot up here. They were entertaining. I feel like that's the best thing I can say about them, is they were entertaining, and that's about it. They weren't very well written or well plotted out, and the male main character in those does something absolutely unforgivable, which hurts a lot of the entertainment value of those books, but I liked them enough to keep them. Complicated feeling about those books. Didn't have very high hopes. I do want to say that Owlcrate, I think that's what it is. I think Owlcrate's adult pick was actually Graceless Heart for January, and I did skip it because I did not want 2 copies at all, because I did not have high expectations for this one. So I want to say that this was also Owlcrate's book. I just didn't get Owlcrate's book. But anyway, we're gonna start with Graceless Heart because I do think it has the biggest possibility of failing, because I would like to kind of read most nervous to most thinking it would be a 5-star. That's kind of how I want to do this video, so I'm not ending off on something that I think I'm gonna hate, because I don't think that's as fun. I would rather end the video on something I think is a 5-star potentially, and then potentially getting a 5-star. That would be great. So we're gonna start with Graceless Heart. All I know is this is like historical fantasy. It says it's taking place in Renaissance Italy. And our main character, it has some sort of magic, and that's pretty much all that I know about it. It has to do with artists and immortals. So that's it. I do think this has a good vibe to it. I do think I could really, really enjoy this one, but I'm not sure. So let's get into reading Graceless Heart. We have our very first update. It is for Graceless Heart. Like I said, I kind of chose this one because this was the one I was thinking I was going to struggle with the most. And I'm about 45% into this book, and I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment, because I am DNFing it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I have been reading this book now. I think I started this vlog like a month ago. I'm still reading this because I hate it. I legitimately hate this book, and it will not be higher than a 1 if I finish it. Like, there's no way. I feel like at most it would get a 2. And I know I'm already breaking my rules. I said I was going to read all of these. I can't do it. I actively cannot read this book anymore, or I will go insane. This is the most boring, nonsensical, nothing happening, worst limp noodle characters that I've read in a long time in a book. Like, it's really bad. I would rather reread 7 Deadly Thorns than continue reading this, because it makes no sense as to why this book even exists, if that makes sense. It's also a series. I thought this was at least a standalone. I was like, okay, maybe I can push through because it's a standalone. And then I saw it's a series. No way. I absolutely not. So, and it's not even the historical aspect of this. Like, I generally struggle with historical fiction novels, but at least they make sense. This book has no purpose, and the things that it throws into the story are just so strange. So it's following our main character who has some sort of magical ability, not explained whatsoever. I am about 50% of this book, and the magic is still not explained, and the purpose of the magic is not explained. The purpose of these like magical artifact things are also not explained, obviously, since I have no idea what I'm talking about. But it opens up with this like competition thing, and then she's immediately kidnapped. Like, there was no point really to the beginning of the book. Like, we're introduced to her whole family and all these characters, and I don't think we're ever gonna see them again. Maybe at the end of the book, but like, I feel like the beginning was so weird to then just be stolen to a completely different setting, and like nothing prior to that is important at all. Like, the beginning motivations of this book, couldn't care less about them because nothing has to do with them anymore. So she's basically been kidnapped by this immortal family. They're not really explained either. Like, why are there immortals in this world, and is it like, why does everyone know about them and it's fine? I'm just so confused where the world building is, because it's non-existent. Like, it feels like the author was like, ooh, I think this would be cool in the world. Ooh, I think this would be cool in the world. And let me just throw all this stuff in here and let it not make any sense. That's where we're at. And so she has to carve these like statue things, or these pieces of stone that have these like, what are they even called? These little stones. There's like, oh my god. These are specifically Night Flame, hexagonal shaped in deep midnight blue with fiery veining, holds an eternal flame in its center, transforms non-living things into living beings, allows for the control of fire and life energy. But like, we have all of these. None of these have been mentioned except for the one. Like, but but what are they? Like, what's the point of them? Like, what do you do with them? Why do these families want them? Like, I get it says non-living to living, but like, what does that actually mean? And because we're not given any background or any type of information, we're just kind of like, okay. And so the whole point of this, I, again, don't really know the point of this book, but she's supposed to get the night flame out of these little rocks because she's a sculptor, but like, it doesn't seem like you actually need to be a sculptor to break these rocks open. That's what I'm confused, because she won the competition because she had magic and she was a sculptor. But I'm under the impression that it's really just her magic that's important, but they're talking about how it's important that she has magic and she's a sculptor. But like, she's not actually sculpting these rocks. She's just cracking them open, is what it seems like. I'm so confused. Like, the point of this book. And then on top of that, the romance. Oh my gosh. It's so bad. It's so bad. So he is like part of the immortal family and is immediately really mean to her, but he's really hot. And then he's like, my plan to get her to cooperate is to seduce her. And then on the next page, he's just like leaning against stuff, acting chill. And she's immediately like, oh my God, he's so hot. Like, he's so attractive. And like, I feel like a chapter later, she's lamenting about how much she cares for him. And I'm like, girl, he would murder you with his pinky finger if it got him what he wanted. Like, I'm sure he's also he's obviously also falling in love with her, but like, why? She has no personality. He doesn't really have a personality either. Because I have noticed sometimes when a female main character doesn't have a personality, there's like almost an overabundance of personality in the male main character, because it's almost like a self-insert type of situation. Twilight is generally very much like that. This book is nobody got no personality. Nobody has any personality in this book. And I could not give a shit what these characters are doing. It's shockingly bad. Shockingly bad. So I can't do it. I can't do it because I don't understand anything about this book. Like, I don't understand the purpose of reading another 250 pages, because I'm at page 200. 270 pages I would have to read to continue this book, but I don't see the point. I don't see the point in continuing this. I'm not going to continue the series. There's no way. So, unfortunately, I feel like Isabella Banez and I are enemies. Like, I feel like every time I read a book by her now, I'm just like, what kind of tomfoolery are we going to be into? Because What the River Knows, I did like the main character, and that's what saved a lot of it. She was dumb as hell sometimes, but other times, like, I actually enjoyed the storyline. It was Egyptian. Yeah, there's a lot that worked for it, that made up for the tomfoolery that was happening in that book. Nothing is making up for whatever the hell is happening in this book. So, because everything is badly done, I can't do it. It would have probably been a 1 anyway. So, I am willing to take the 0 on this one. Wow, I'm just like, my brain is melting. It's melting. And now I'm just like this, yeah, already starting off great. Already starting off great to the point where I'm just like, I don't really want to read any of these. I don't want to read any of the rest of these books in this video. I just like want to skip January. But this is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing this. So we have 4 books left, I think, because we have 2 copies of The Swan's Daughter, the Poet Empress, I don't know what I'm counting, Mystical Cat Shelter, which we also have 2 copies, and then the Bone Shard Daughter. So we do have 4 books left. I feel like I'm gonna leave the Poet Empress until last, because that one's got such good ratings. Everybody's obsessed with it. And oh no, you know what, the Bone Shard Daughter probably needs to be last, because that has the highest stakes, because I got the whole series. I have the whole series, so I feel like, yeah, I've got to read that one last. I think the next scary one, I think we're just going to get the scary ones out of the way. I think The Swan's Daughter. Even though I've really liked Roshani Chokshi before, that's a good sign. But I think The Swan's Daughter is the most nerve-wracking next one. So we do have 2 copies of this one. We have the Owlcrate and we have the Fairyloot. And so if I were to kind of like this book, and I didn't feel like it was necessary to keep both copies, I would probably keep the Owlcrate one. I do think the Owlcrate one is better. I think it's gorgeous. I love the edges. I don't love the design of this one. What did I think about oh, I was going to reverse it. That's why, because I like the UK. Yeah, I was going to reverse this one. So we're going to reverse this one if I like the book. Because if I don't like it, I'm just going to get rid of it. So that's kind of the plan. So I guess we're going to go into The Swan's Daughter next. I am a little bit nervous because this is a bit of a fairy tale retelling-ish. And I'm not the biggest fan of those. So this could go anyway at this point. But yeah, so probably this one next. I'm gonna go attempt something. I'll update you when I feel necessary. So I am 67% or chapter 24 into The Swan's Daughter. I wish I had come on here earlier and talked about it because my feelings have significantly changed from the beginning of the book. So I gotta talk about all of that. And I just like didn't feel like updating earlier. Like I was in a mood. I was also watching TV. I'm catching up on a bunch of TV right now. And I was switching between this and To Cage a Wild Bird because I'm also working on my Allurial Purge at the same time as this. So I just like didn't want to. I didn't want to update. And I was enjoying myself. And I was like, if I update, I'm going to jinx myself. So apparently I'll stop liking a book even if I don't update. So I'm not even jinxing myself. So I really enjoyed the beginning of this book. It felt very what I remember, kind of ethereal vibes from that I remember from The Last Tale of Flower Bride, but it did have that fairy tale aspect to it that I don't love. So that was like one thing that I was a little iffy about at the beginning. Also, allergies. I just realized I'm like really red. I was just out getting stuff from the store because I forgot I was out of detergent and I didn't realize I was that red and like glassy eyed. Oh jeez, it's so bad. The trees are so bad. So anyway, I love the beginning. So this is following our main character Demelza, and she is a Veritas Swan, and her mom is also a Veritas Swan, and it kind of opens up. I love how it opened. I love the beginning of the story. It opens actually following her mother and literally The Swan's Daughter. It's following her mother and her mother marrying this like wizard who's evil and she can't help but still love him. And it talks about like the curse of a swan and why she's kind of trapped there and how she eventually has a bunch of children and those children go off to do their own thing except for Demelza, who is like the ugly duckling of the group, because apparently it's an ugly duckling retelling, which I didn't know. I thought it was like a swan princess retelling, but which is kind of has a little bit of that with the mom. Like I feel like the mom's story is Swan Princess and Demelza's is the ugly duckling. So anyway, that's how kind of it opens up, but like the daughters don't understand what's going on between the parents, and then finally it kind of strikes them. There's something that happens and Demelza has to leave the castle and pretty much go into hiding. She chooses the cat, like there's only one place that her dad would never go, and it's this castle that hosts the royal family. And the royal family is currently having a competition right now because the son needs to get married, but it's like a whole thing because the wives normally kill the husbands and take their hearts, and that's what gives them like the seat of power or something. So we are following primarily Demelza's chapters and the mom's chapters at the beginning of the book, which is what I loved. I loved that. I was okay with a couple chapters, but we were introduced to Aris's chapters, who is the prince, and I liked a couple of them, but now, like, I would say probably 40% into the book, I stopped enjoying it. I got a little tired of the ethereal writing style. It wasn't working anymore for me, combined with the kind of very young humor. Like, it's like very young feeling, and I noticed that from the beginning, like, but I was still okay with it because I am learning that I do like some middle grade feeling things, but it has to be really specific. And so at the beginning of this one, I liked the story. I thought the plot was really good, and I liked Demelza as a character. So it feeling middle grade, not a big deal. The second a romance was kind of included in Aris's chapters, and Aris, I just don't like him as a character. I really just don't enjoy him as a character. I don't enjoy following him. I think he's very cringy. And I think the romance is just weird. Like, I just don't like it. I don't vibe with the story now that we're past where we were. And so unfortunately, I'm just basically from the point that we are at the castle and Demelza has entered this competition, I have not enjoyed the story. And it is, like I said, it's a combination of the fairy tale-esque style and Aris as a character. And he's like a really big character now. So I am gonna finish it though. Like, this is one that I would actually DNF. So I would say about 60% is when I really was like, yeah, I would DNF this book. So 60% I would have DNF'd it. I am going to finish it though because I am 67% through. Like, I don't have that much left of this book. I think I have like 2 hours of the audiobook left. I don't know if I would have made it as far as I did though without the audio. Because again, the ethereal vibes and the younger feel of it, I definitely needed the audiobook to get through as much as I did. So at least I had that, and the audiobook is actually really well done. But I just... So yeah, I would have DNF'd it at 60% if I wasn't trying to get a number. But I know this isn't a 1 star. So like, I do want to know if it's going to be... I feel like at worst, it'll be a 2.5. At best, depending on the ending, it could be a 3.5. I'm guessing it's either going to be a 2.5 or a 3. That's kind of my range. And if I don't finish it, giving this a 0 does feel unfair. Like, it does feel unfair because that's like 3 whole possible points that we're missing out by DNFing this one. Graceless Heart was going to be a 1 star. It was going to be a 1 star. I'm only missing out on 1 point, so I'm okay giving it an L, especially because I actively hated it. Actually hated it, would give it a 0. Because you can't give 0 stars, I don't think. They don't count. So DNFing it actually kind of does give a better rating because it is a 0 and I really hated the book. So actually that kind of does work out. But this one I don't hate. I wouldn't give this a 1. I wouldn't, as of right now, give this one a 2 either. It's 2.5 or up. It's definitely not getting higher than a 3.5 though, with how much I'm not enjoying this part. So anyway, I figured I would give that little update and I'm going to go finish it. I am probably going to finish it like today because I don't want to drag this out anymore, because if I do not finish it now, I know for a fact I will just like decide not to finish it. So I got to finish it now. Swan's Daughter, we have about 33% left. Let's finish this book up. I just got back from my well, technically it's my second allergy appointment, but the very first time I actually got the shots. So like, apparently, and I didn't know this was a thing, the first appointment is actually for like, I feel so congested. The first appointment is for like testing the vial like underneath the skin to make sure that it's not going to cause like a crazy reaction, or that it's not going to cause any reaction. So they've got to make sure that they like mix the right dosage. And then you kind of like sit with that for a couple days, and then they actually do like the injection. So today was my very first allergy injection. And I'm just like, I'm in a mood. I don't feel great. I look like really red, but I think it's just like the shirt and the lighting that I'm in. I don't think I'm actually, because that doesn't look red when I'm sideways. So I think it's just the shirt and the lighting. Anyway, so massive flare up. So I'm just like not feeling great. This week has been rough, but I'm really excited because this weekend is indie bookstore day and we have a decent amount of indie bookstores here. They're just far away from my house. Like, we have one nearby my house, but the rest are like 45 minutes to an hour away, which kind of sucks. And they're in like the city, which is really annoying. I wish we had some down here, more like a rural area. You know, it makes sense why they're up in the city, a lot more people, and there's students up there and stuff because there's a big university up in the city. So anyway, that all being said, I don't know why I went off on a tangent, but I'm just like feeling bad. I'm feeling bad. I have decided to binge shows while I'm feeling like shit. So hopefully this flare up chills out soon because I feel like I'm going crazy. I can feel my anxiety starting to come back, and I've been doing really well with my anxiety for the past almost year now, I think. I'm trying to think of when I had my last like really big anxiety spike, and I want to say it was back last July or last August, I think. So I just like need everything to calm down. So because I do not want to go back to having anxiety attacks daily. I really don't want to go back to that, or back to my very depressive state last year. So hopefully that will calm down. I'm still fighting with the doctor's office, so that is also stressing me out as well. If I didn't have that to worry about, I think I'd be doing a little bit better. But also dealing with that because these doctor's offices are pissing me off. So anyway, that all being said, it's just been a really rough morning. I did end up finishing The Swan's Daughter last night. I think I'm just gonna settle at a 3, like, because I did enjoy my time at the beginning and I did like the ending. It primarily was that middle section, and I still enjoyed a lot of the middle section. I want to say there's about 30% in there that I really didn't care for, and I still didn't like hate it. I just thought it was really boring and was a little bit annoying. So I think a 3-star feels right. I also think this cover actually fits the whimsical feel of this book significantly better than the original cover or the Fairyloot edition. I'm looking at the Fairyloot edition and I get the idea behind like the stuff they put on the cover, but I don't think it matches like the aesthetic like at all. Like, this is a very young feeling, whimsical type of story, and this does not give whimsy. Like, again, I get why they use the imagery that they did. This is not whimsy. This is no. And even like I was looking at the UK cover and I was looking at the US original covers. I don't think either of those work either. Like, they feel more adult or even like older young adult. And I do think that those covers, like all of these covers, give the wrong impression as to what this book is like. So I do think Owlcrate 100%. Oh, and I'm so sad because I want to get rid of this copy, but this is the one that has like the overlays in it. But like, am I really gonna look back at the overlays? Probably not. I didn't even look at them while I was reading it, and they're beautiful overlays, but like, I don't see much purpose in overlays. I am not one of those people who's like I like getting them, but I'm not obsessed with them, if that makes sense. So, and even like the artwork for the overlays, just, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. Like, it just doesn't match the vibe. I do think Owlcrate nailed it. Like, I feel like this artist really like read the book and really understood the whimsy vibes, because this is perfect. This is exactly how I picture her. This is exactly how I picture the kingdom. It's a very Swan Princess-esque feeling. Then even the artwork inside makes sense. The reversible dust jacket also works perfectly. This is also very fairy tale whimsy. So the Owlcrate designer nailed it. Like, absolutely nailed this book. This is definitely the version that I will be keeping for now. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if I want to get rid of this. I just don't know. Like, I don't know. So this, it's fine. I think the key is that I really loved Demelza as a main character. And I do think that her character kind of went into the background in the middle of the story in favor of Aris, the romantic interest, and I did not care for his story. I really didn't. I think if the whole thing was from Demelza's perspective, I would have appreciated it more. However, then the problem with that, though, is I loved Aris's sister. Aris's sister was such a good character. I loved her. Every time she was on page, I had such a fun time with her. I think her name was, they were saying Evil, but I don't know if that's actually, because I was listening to it. I really should have looked like what her actual like spelling of her name is, but they called her Evil. Okay, so Yvlle, I think. Yvel. So I wonder if that's, so Evil. I guess that makes sense. Love the sister. I really, 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 really love the sister. And I think she was definitely a highlight of this book. So that's like the one problem with getting rid of Aris's perspective, is it would also get rid of his interactions with the sister. And again, arguably some of my favorite parts of the book. So complicated. I think I just wanted him to be a little more serious, because there were like montages of him like kissing the princesses or the possible suitors for him, and I just like didn't like that. I didn't like that vibe. And some of his like inner monologues I just thought were very childlike. So he came off as very young, and like Demelza came off as young, but like he came off as very young. So that is my biggest qualm, is him as a character. I do like that this book wrapped up with her parents again. I was very excited about that they came back. Again, my interest was massively piqued once her parents came back in the story. I think that's what I really wanted. I wanted a story of Demelza and her parents because Prava and, what is her mom, Armanestra, were arguably some of the more interesting characters of this book. So I think I just wanted certain things focused on, but other things were focused on than what I was more interested in. So sadly, This one is just a 3. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this one. I don't know if I will keep it in the long run, but I will keep it for now because I think this could be one that I think fondly of later when my mind filters out some of the stuff I didn't like. That means that we are moving on to our next pick. So we do have 3 books left, and I have decided already what we're gonna read. I think we're gonna read the Mystical Cat Shelter next. So like I said, I do have 2 copies of this one as well, which is kind of annoying, but I love both these copies. They are both very, very pretty. I think I do like the Owlcrate one better as well. I think this one is stunning. I think this is the copy that I'm going to read because like the whole thing is gorgeous. The whole thing is gorgeous. I like the vibes of this. It feels very Heather Fawcett in a way. Like this feels like something like she would really like as her cover. So I just really, really, really like it. I really like it. So I think we're gonna read this next. I think I read like the first couple of pages. Yes, I read the first couple of pages because I wanted to test it out last night to see if I really was good with starting this one, or I wanted to do one of the other 2 because the other 2 are the Poet Empress and the Bone Shard Daughter. So I think I want to go with this one just based off of what I read so far, and I'm already loving it. Like obviously that could change, but it starts off with our main character trying to find a new space for her cat shelter, and she keeps getting turned down, and that's pretty much all that I've read so far. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think, again, there might be some more whimsy in this. I'm hoping it reads like Emily Wilde because then it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So this is somewhat of a 5-star prediction. So hopefully it lives up to that because I'm a little bit nervous. Wanted to update before I kept reading this. I really just don't feel like updating tonight. Sometimes you just like don't feel like it. So like I just like don't feel like being on camera tonight. But there's a high likelihood that I'm gonna read like the rest of this book tonight. So I'm like, I really do need to tell you how I'm feeling about it so far. I think it's because I drank some like coffee like late at night, and so I'm just like really jittery. Like I feel like the coffee that I've been getting for at-home usage has been making me like really jittery, and it's like making my anxiety bad. So I think I need to like not drink that one or drink half of a glass and just in the morning. Like I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to drink it late at night. I just really wanted it for some reason, but I can feel like I feel jittery, and I think that's why I'm just like, I don't really want to do anything right now. I just want to go and watch Euphoria, because that's the other thing. It is 9 o'clock on Sunday night and I want to go watch episode 4 of Euphoria because the end of episode 3 was insane. Like everything was insane. Every single storyline was crazy. So I do want to go and watch that, but I know I'm gonna read more of this book because I am loving it. I'm loving it. And I did decide to reverse it. So this is like the original cover, it's the blue. And I do love it. Like I absolutely love this cover. Like I'm obsessed with this cover. I really wish that that was the Owlcrate cover and then this was the Fairyloot cover, because I like the Fairyloot cover. I really do. But this and the blue reverse to me matched the book so well. I'm trying to remember, where is my Fairyloot edition? I don't know actually where it is. I legitimately have no idea where the Fairyloot edition is. I'm gonna have to find it, but it must be in the other room because it's not there. It's not over there. It's not behind me. It might be in the bookshelves as well. Like you might actually see it behind me somewhere, but I don't think I stuck it in a bookshelf. I feel like that wouldn't make a lot of sense. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go find it. I have no idea where it is, but I love that cover. But I think Owlcrate really, this is like a perfect addition for what this book is. So I am 50% into this book. I think I'm like probably 48%. I'm on chapter 21. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Amazing reading. Amazing reading is happening right now because I just read Blood Over Brighthaven and obsessed, loved it, 5-star. I literally was even in that video talking about how is that going to be my favorite book of the year? But this one, this one is now, I think, beating that one. And this may be the favorite because your favorite scary movie is still beating Blood Over Brighthaven. But this one, I think this could beat it. I really do. I love everything about this book. Like, oh my God. The way I felt about Emily Wilds the first time I read Emily Wilds is how I'm feeling about this book. But I like this one even more, which I didn't think was possible. I love the characters. I love the cats. I love that the cats each have personality. I love the story that's happening in this. And I'm like really sad because I don't think this is a series as far as I'm aware. I don't actually know. I haven't looked it up lately. I hope it's a series. I hope it's a series. You could make like 10 books in this universe and in this world. So I do hope it's a series. I don't know if it is or not as of right now. I will go check literally right after this. We're following our main character, Agnes, who is kind of going through a bit of a rough patch. So she is running a cat shelter, and in this kind of like time period, people do not see cats kind of the way that they do now. Although, again, as a society, we do have a big problem with feral cats, and it is a big public project to catch these feral cats and fix them and then release them back into the wild if they're very feral. So she goes around and she catches these cats, especially before winter, and it is about to hit winter. Unfortunately, her shop has been destroyed, and the point of the beginning of the book is her trying to find a new space, and that is what lands her in a bit of hot water because she takes a less than ideal location as her new place to set up shop, and she runs into the very grumpy landlord, and it's just so much fun. I think the comps were Howl's Moving Castle, and 1000%. Yes, like, yes. So many characters match so many characters from Howl's Moving Castle, but in such a different and fun way. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Like I said, each cat has a different personality. Like, that is His Majesty. We also have Banshee, which is my personal favorite. I love Banshee. And it's just so good. Like, every character is so fun, so unique. The magic is really interesting. Like, we even have a magic system. I wasn't expecting that. Like, I legitimately thought it was just gonna be like, oh, there's magicians. Because I feel like in cozy fantasy, oftentimes, you don't often have an explained magic system that's complicated. This one has a different, unique magic system, and I really appreciate that. And I'm just like, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this book. I'm so impressed with it. And see, that's my favorite cat right there. I believe that's Banshee. If it's not, I would be surprised. But like, it's just so good. It's so good. I cannot say any more great things about this book. So I'm so happy that I ended up not skipping this, because I think I was going to just get Fairyloot edition, and I skipped this originally and then I unskipped it. So I'm so happy that I ended up unskipping, because this, if I said, hey, I do have to, I'm not getting rid of a copy. I'm probably getting more copies. If I had to get rid of a copy and I could only keep one, I would have kept the Owlcrate copy. So I'm very glad that I ended up getting the Owlcrate copy. So I'm just having a great time. I'm having such a good time with this. So this is definitely making me feel so much better after the past 2 books hasn't gone great. Because what was it? Yeah, oh yeah, Graceless Heart. Whew. Again, a book like this makes me remember how much I love reading. So thank goodness. We have officially finished Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter, and you know what? It still is a 5-star. There was 2 things that happened at the end of this book that were not my favorite and actually really make it so that I want a sequel. Like, I desperately want a sequel to this book, and I think you could have so many sequels to this book. I would love that. I don't think it's going to happen as of currently. I've researched it. There's nothing about it that it would be a sequel, unfortunately, but I think this would do really well to have a sequel. Also, my dog just ate, so he's huffing and puffing and rubbing his face on stuff right now. So 5-star. I think this is an S tier book for me. I do. The only reason I'm questioning it is because I wish there was a little bit more romance in this. I would definitely say this is a touch of romance. Like, there is a light, like a breath of romance from this book. It really doesn't have that much romance in this, of like the current day romance, which I wish there was just a tiny bit more. Not even that much more, just like a little bit more at the end. And then there was a thing that happened that I wasn't a fan of. There was a story, one of the storylines, I just was kind of like, yeah, it's not my favorite, but overall, I still really love this book. I also was scream crying at the end of this book. Do you know when, like, do you know when you cry so hard, you start, like, making noises, and, like, you can't breathe, and you're just like, like that? That's what I was doing at the end of this book. It was devastating at the end of this book. And it's not really like a spoiler. Actually, it's not a spoiler at all. So she's a widow. She's a widow. That's kind of a big part of the plot. She is like still kind of struggling and coming to terms with the death of her husband. And the end of this book, what happens relating to that storyline, scream crying, literal scream crying. And I think that's just my sensitivity to that, because like one of my greatest fears in life is Lucas dying. Like, oh my God, that anything that has husband death sends me into a sobbing spiral, uncontrollable mess, because then I picture it's my own husband and what it would be like to be in that situation, and I lose my mind. So when I was reading the end of this, when I was picturing Lucas and me in this situation, that's where the heaving crying came from. So at the same time as being traumatized by that storyline, it was also so beautifully written that I can't help but appreciate what was done with her and that storyline. It was amazing. It was so well done, and it was beautiful and heartbreaking. So be prepared if you have those kinds of triggers with that thing. This is a heartbreaking book. Absolutely heartbreaking book, but it was still so good. So yes, love this. I love this. 5 stars. I think it is going to be a favorite of the year. I think it's like number 3 right now, probably. It did not beat number 1, but it is close. It is, and I'm gonna have a book hangover from this. I did start the Poet Empress. I don't have much to say about it. So Taz is literally just sitting here going, he's a Shih Tzu, so he makes huffing noises. So he needs to go outside. He's going, it's so distracting. Let me pick him up while we very quickly talk about the Poet Empress. I know you have to go outside. I know you have to go outside. I will take you outside in a second. So the Poet Empress, we literally just read like 10 pages, maybe. So I don't have too much of a vibe for it yet, but I do like the writing style so far, but I really can't say anything about it because I don't know. So I will update you guys when I get further into the Poet Empress, and hopefully I enjoyed as much as I'm enjoying like the little beginning of it. So that's the update for now. 5 star for Agnes Aubert. I'm glad we finally had a book in here that I absolutely loved. It definitely makes up for the first 2 books. Hopefully I'll love the Poet Empress just as much. I'm sick of this shit. I'm so sick of this shit. I feel like you can see the tear stains of me wiping my eyes. I'm so tired of every single book I've been reading lately causing me to sob uncontrollably, and I kind of was like expecting it with this one, but I wasn't at the same time. So yeah, I did finish this. This is definitely one of those books that is like, read it in a sitting or a couple sittings and then let yourself kind of like decide what you feel about it, because it is not a fun book. Like, it's not enjoyable to read. I definitely am putting this in the category of the Reformatory and My Dark Vanessa. I would put that in that category of, this is not a fun book. This is not entertaining. This is trying to teach you something. So I'm not surprised it has such high ratings, because it's just one of those stories. It's one of those stories. It's actually very Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, where you are following kind of a villain origin story. That's what's so interesting about this one. But you're not following the actual villain. You're following somebody who learns to love the villain and what they have to do to stop that villain. That's really what this is. This is a villain origin story through the eyes of people who loved him. And it's so sad. It's so freaking sad. Yeah, so this is telling the story of our main character, Wei, and she is a village girl from out in the country. She's from a starving village. So she ends up begging to, like, the chooser of concubines, and he picks her for the new prince, the crown prince, and he is a cruel, awful man, and you learn how he became that. So this really is like a story about humanity. It's asking the question of what creates evil. What makes a person evil? Are they born that way? Are they created? Why they act the way that they do sometimes. And it's devastating, because this kind of, hear me out, and it's gonna sound really crazy, but this kind of is like a serial killer story. Like, it's literally like you are learning how a serial killer is made. Like, that is pretty much what this is. So you start off with a cherub of a child, put them through traumatizing events, and spit out a horrible, evil person at the end. Like, yeah, so this just dealt with a lot of humanity. This dealt with the question of, is it possible to love an evil person? Can you love aspects of them? Like, what happens when you do love parts of them and you can see the glimpses of good? You can see what hurt the most is you follow him before he's evil as a child, and learn all of the events leading up to why he becomes the way that he does, why he hurts people. And it hurts. It hurts because you can see what he could have been, especially as such a sweet little baby child. And it's just like, oh my God. So you just see event after event, and you see the horribleness of the world and what they can do to people, and how it can break somebody so much that it changes who they are fundamentally, because this person would not have ended this way if they were treated anywhat normally. Like, even if they were treated badly, but the extent that they were treated every moment was against this person to create this evil. And it's devastating. It's so devastating. And of course there's ghosts. I feel like it was very impactful, but the ghosts really I'm not giving any spoilers. Like, there's no spoilers. Like, you don't know what ghosts. But oh my God. Oh my God. It is a 5-star. It's a 5-star for the storytelling. But again, it's one of those weird ones where I'm like, I didn't enjoy it. But it's like with the Reformatory. I didn't enjoy the Reformatory, but it was such amazing storytelling, and you learned so much, and you had so many questions, and it's not a fun book, but it's phenomenal. And this is the same situation. This is not a fun book. This is actually arguably a horrifically depressing, oh my God, I literally cannot wrap my head around how sad this book is. And that ending, the ending. Oh God, I'm about to start crying again. Oh, because the funny thing is, this is not a story. See, I'm literally crying again. This is not a story about the main character. It is a villain origin story plus one specific character in the villain's life that is very important and could have changed the trajectory of everything, and instead all the wrong decisions were made, basically. So yeah, 5-star. I need a break. I don't know what to read, because I feel like I picked up The Cat Shelter thinking that that was safe, and I wasn't going to start sobbing reading that. That was a mistake. I sobbed hard. I was, you guys know this is the same video, gasping sobs, and then before that was Blood Over Brighthaven. Yeah, that was sad. And then what else did I read? I feel like everything that I've read recently has me crying, and I can't handle this right now. So I feel like I need to find something that's just cute. I need to read a romance. That's what we need to do. We need to read a little romance. I don't know. I can't handle this shit. I mean, it's great that I'm getting 75 stars, but holy shit. Holy shit. That being said, we have one single book left for this video, and I actually am going to, I know some of you are not gonna like this, but I am gonna read The Bone Shard Daughter for this video, for the main channel, but this was something I was always considering, because I don't love the idea of being forced to read an entire series on a schedule. It never ends well. So what I think I'm gonna do is read, as long as I like it, because that's the key. If I don't like Bone Shard's Daughter, we're in trouble, because I got the next 2 books in the series from Broken Binding. So we are going to read Bone Shard Daughter in this video, but I'm going to read the other 2 for members only in vlog format. You guys will know what my rating is, because like I said before, you don't actually have to join members to know my thoughts on books. Everything will be in my wrap-ups at the end, so don't worry about that. You will know what I think about them, but I just don't, they're like massive, and I have so many books from book boxes coming that I just don't think I have time to put them in the books, like the videos. So for February, I have so many books for February, not including that one. So I think to stay on schedule, I will read Bone Shard Daughter in this, give my thoughts on it, and then it will be on members only and in wrap up. So like I said, you will see what they are. But for scheduling purposes, it's looking bad. Like, we've got like 8 books in every video coming up. So that's why I'm trying to like move through these. Really trying to catch up, because it's May and I'm already behind. I'm finishing up January and we saw The Bone Shard Daughter. So anyway, we're going to read Bone Shard Daughter next, and then wrap up this video, and then immediately pretty much go into February. So But I need to read something else. I need to read a romance. I need to read something else that isn't gonna make me feel like my insides are coming out because I'm crying so hard, if that makes sense. I'm so depressed. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. Ugh, but it was so good. It was, I'm holding upside down. It was really, really good. I'm gonna look at other copies of this book. That's how good it was. Okay, anyway, that was sad. I didn't take it seriously that it was that sad. Everyone told me it was sad and I was like, no, it can't be that bad. Can't be that sad. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the Bone Shard Daughter after I read something else first. I am about 200 pages into the Bone Shard Daughter. I guess 192 pages, or about to start chapter 21. I don't really like this, which is like the scariest thing I feel like I'm admitting. I really just was like trying to give myself time and time and time and time to just kind of force myself to like this one. I would have DNF'd this if I did not own the whole series. That's kind of where I am with this one. I don't really like how it's written. I don't really like the world building because I don't think there really is any. I really don't understand anything about the world. I don't understand why certain things are being done. I don't really understand the magic system. I don't understand where anything has come from to create this world. Like, how did we get to this point? Like, we don't know. We don't know how we've gotten to this point. And I feel like that is a huge issue for me with this book. And I am so not enjoying it. Like, I am legitimately like, oh, I would have quit by now many times over if I did not own the whole series. And I don't know what to do at this point. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish this. I'm speed reading it on audiobook because I cannot force myself to read this one physically because I've tried and I just don't want to read it. And we're going to see how I feel at the end. So, oh man, I could not have guessed that. I left this one to last because I thought it would be like one of my favorites, or at least something that I really, really enjoyed, and I was going to be really excited about continuing the whole series. No, that's not what's happening right now, unfortunately. So, not having a good time. There's too many perspectives. You guys know me, I don't like a multi-perspective book. But that's not it. Like, I can enjoy a multi-perspective book if it's done well. I just don't think this is particularly done very well. So we have, like, Lynn's point of view, and she is the daughter who has memory loss issues of the Emperor, and the Emperor's kind of on his way out because he is losing his potency, I guess is what you would call it, with his magic. Like, it's just not working the same as it used to be. And there's like the whole magic system is based on these, like, bone constructs, but it really isn't explained very well, like where the magic came from and kind of like the backstory of the magic and all that kind of stuff. Didn't explain anything like that. But that's kind of what that storyline is. She's trying to win over her father, the Emperor, to potentially become the next Emperor. So that's that storyline. Then separately, we have Jovis. Is that what the next guy is? I think it's Jovis. He is a smuggler and he is smuggling children around places, but his like actual thing is he's trying to find this ship that supposedly captured or took somebody that he knew. And his whole goal in life right now is to find where that ship is and where it's going. So that's like his whole thing. And then we have Sand, who is just like a random perspective that is probably the most interesting because I think it's going to connect a lot of stuff. And Sand is on this like island and has no memory of anything. So that's their perspective. Very short chapters, very like not very like often. I think I've had 2 or 3 Sand chapters compared to like out of the 21 chapters we've read. And then we have Fila. Is that her name? Fila's chapters. And she is the daughter of a governor and dating somebody who has to do with like a rebellion. And then another very short chapter that I don't know if it's going to be a reoccurring thing is the girlfriend of Fila, and she's doing other things like relating to the rebellion. So lot of perspectives. And I think the only 2 that I'm mildly enjoying, not even liking, mildly enjoying are Sand, because it's relating to something else, so I'm enjoying that. Jovis, because of Mephi, the pet Really fun pet, very fun, good, not good, love that. Mephi's adorable. Mephi's adorable is definitely the only part of the book that I'm really enjoying. And then I am enjoying Lynn because I think that is probably one of the more interesting chapters, and I think something funny is going on in them, so I'm like intrigued by those at least. I don't want Fila's chapter, or whatever her name is, to be in this book at all. Like, I don't enjoy her chapters, and they're long chapters too. Don't enjoy that storyline. I just don't. I'm sure everything connects, but I just don't care for it. I could do without it. Same with the girlfriend, because those two are connected. I could do without it. Yeah. So I'm really not loving this, but I'm willing to continue reading it because I spent a lot of money on these copies. So obviously, I'm like, if I don't like them, I can sell for value, which is nice. It does seem like I can easily do that, so I won't feel like I'll have a loss on these, but I am quite grumpy. Quite grumpy because you guys know I've been really good about not buying sets that I haven't read, and I have all 3 books, so very disappointed. I don't see this getting anything higher than a 3 at this point, but you never know. Suddenly I could start loving this book. It's happened before, rarely, but I would have DNF'd it at about 100 pages, so I just kind of want to mark where I would have DNF'd it. So fortunately, not having a great time, but I will be finishing it. So I'll let you know when I finish it. I'm not going to have anything else to say before that, I'm sure. This is not for this video. These are actually literally just empty boxes. I just didn't have it in me to move stuff. I just want to be done with this video. Like, that's where we're at. It is 10 o'clock Sunday night. This is coming out Wednesday. I'm actually done earlier than I thought I was, but it mostly was because I wasn't enjoying The Bone Shard Daughter, and I just wanted to be done. That's it. It really came down to that. I thought I would kind of read more of it tomorrow, but no, I just wanted to be done. And so I finished it. I finished Bone Shard Daughter. I don't hate it, but it's almost worse. It's almost worse. I have such little thoughts about this book. I'm giving it a 3-star because I did like the ending. However, the rest of this book was so boring that I was struggling to even remotely pay attention to it. I don't have any thoughts or feelings about a single character in this book other than that I don't care really about them. Like, I really just don't. I do think Lynn's perspective did turn out to be the most interesting. I feel like Jovis's perspective was almost a little useless. Just all the other perspectives just like didn't feel useful. Like, I get it. You're getting the backstory through their other perspectives, but I just didn't care. I just actually did not care that anything else was happening. I just think it all could have been done through Lynn's perspective. And I guess, like, I would have combined Jovis's perspective and Falu's perspective, because I maintain that I did not enjoy Falu's perspective. I feel like she didn't need to exist as a character in general. And, like, the whole thing that happened with her storyline, just everything just kind of just worked out as easily as it could have. And it just was I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I do think Lynn's perspective actually ended up being really interesting, and I was really surprised about how interesting I thought it was actually turning out to be. But I also just thought it was really convenient how we combined some of the perspectives. Like, it was like, oh, hey buddy, hey there, but not in like a really fun, like, oh my god, look at that's one of our other. No, it wasn't fun, like, look at one of our other characters. No, it was just kind of like, oh, and they show up. They just kind of show up, and I just didn't like that. I didn't like it. I didn't care for Jovis's character. I also like Mephi as an animal companion, but I also don't feel really strongly about Mephi as an animal companion, which I feel like is the first time ever that I don't feel strongly about an animal companion, and I don't know why. I just feel so disconnected from everything that happened in this book. I also don't really know if I feel like this actually matches the vibe of the book. Like, I'm really torn. So for me, this artwork is beautiful. It's stunning. I don't personally think it matches that well with actually the book. Like, it really doesn't. And like, I think I know what these like monster things are supposed to be, but for me, it's not exactly like what they were. That's why I'm so torn about this artwork, because this is just not at all what I was imagining or picturing. And it's just really strange reading the book and like looking at the cover and being like, I feel like I'm reading a different book than what the cover is. I actually think the original cover, which I actually do have, I have a paperback of the first book. That's how excited I was to read said book. I actually think the cover of that paperback does actually fit the book better, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree, and maybe I'll feel differently the further I get into the series, because I do plan to try the second book at least try it, because I am interested enough to see where it's going to go to try the second one. But yeah, it's very odd to have a really nice special edition and just be like a little bit disconnected from it, because it just doesn't match in my head what is actually going on. So very strange feeling. But yeah, this was not what I expected. I really thought this was going to hit. Like I really thought this one was going to hit much harder than it did, or hit any amount, because it hit 0 amount. So yeah, 3 stars still, but I mean, a 3-star puts you in the, this is so mediocre, I have no thoughts about it, which is almost like worse. A 3-star is like, oh, it's bad. It's bad, because I have nothing to say about the book. Well, obviously, I've somewhat talked about the book, but there's no real commentary I have about the book. Other than that, I thought it was boring, and the ending was fine and was a little intriguing. So that's all I have to say about The Bone Shard Daughter. I will be attempting to read the second one for members. I definitely am not going to rush it. I'm definitely not going to try reading it with my February books. There's no way. I'm not putting myself through that. I can tell you that right now. Not putting myself through that. I need to take more time with the sequel to see if I can like connect maybe a little bit more with it. So The Bone Shard Emperor and The Bone Shard War will not be in reading all my book box books. No, I'm not doing that. So anyway, let's talk about what we read in this video, because we read quite a few things, and some stuff was amazing. Some stuff was like super surprising. Other stuff was somewhat disappointing, but other things I kind of knew it wasn't going to go well. So obviously, first up, we attempted to read Graceless Heart. I really wanted to finish all the books in this video, but this is legitimately a bad book. I just think it's very poorly written, and I think I could have finished it if there was an audiobook that I enjoyed, but I despised the audiobook. But I also just was really hating the reading experience with this one. So I am okay with giving this a 0, because I think I would have given it a 1 star anyway if I finished it. So that's kind of my thing, is like, I'm really trying to read all these books so I get actual numbers. So this is going to count as a 0, but because it would have been a 1 star, I'm okay counting it as a 0. Swan's Daughter, 3 star, kind of a similar situation to The Bone Shard Daughter, where it's just very there, like it just exists. God, these books are so heavy, they just slide right out of the dust jacket. So I will say I did enjoy this more than The Bone Shard Daughter. This one leaned heavily into 5 star at the beginning and a 5 star at the end, but it was like a 2 star in the middle, and that's why I kind of was like, I can't give it above a 3 star, because there were sections of this that I very much did not enjoy, and then there were sections that I loved. So I think that's what's so different about The Bone Shard Daughter. This one was like 5 star, 2 star, 5 star, loved sections, hated sections. Bone Shard Daughter was like 1 note the entire book. Oh, my reading experience of The Pride of the Orange Tree, very similar. Very similar to my experience reading The Bone Shard Daughter, actually, now that I kind of like think about it. Pride of the Orange Tree was just so existing as I read it. I was a little more compelled by that storyline. I do think I gave it a 3.5, but very similar reading experience to Bone Shard Daughter. Anyway, so that's why this was a little more complicated. This is a 3 star, but it's because it kind of just leveled out to a 3 star. Then we had the winner. I think this is the winner of the video. Mystical Cat Shelter, 5 star. Heather Fawcett coming in clutch yet again. Makes me very excited to go back and actually read the Emily Wilde series, because like I said, I read the first one, loved it, 5 star. Read the second one, don't remember anything about it, but I gave it a 3 star, so I do need to reread it, and then I haven't read the third one yet. So I need to reread the whole series. This makes me more excited. This was just so good. The writing, the characters, everything. There were 2 things that I did not love about this book, but everything else was so perfect that I kind of am overlooking them, and I gave it a 5 star. Then the surprise 5 star, because again, I talked about it, not the most enjoyable read because of the very heavy topics, but masterful storytelling, masterful writing. It has to be a 5 star. The Poet Empress. I get the hype with this one. Intense. This book was incredibly intense. I would go check trigger warnings before reading this one. And then obviously we just talked about it, but The Bone Shard Daughter, 3 star. Boring. Still will try the second one, but I don't have super high hopes for the rest of the series after how I felt about this one. So I would say that that is my rating, and I definitely think we kind of overcame the ugly thing. Like, so my favorite covers were Mystical Cat Shelter and the Poet Empress, and they were both 5 stars. I feel like that defies the odds with how we feel about pretty books and them always being bad. So I'm really excited that we had 2 5 stars, 2 beautiful books. That is so exciting. And my ugliest book for this video was Graceless Heart, which is still pretty. It's still pretty, but it was my least favorite design and it was my least favorite book. So I feel like we kind of flipped everything on its head with when we talk about that stuff. But anyway, that is everything I have for you guys today. I'm really excited that this video generally was pretty positive. I feel like that's a great start to 2026. If you guys enjoyed the video, definitely let me know down below. I know a lot of you really love the Poet Empress, but if you liked anything else that you've read in here, what you thought about these other books, if you liked them, if you disliked them, if you made it this far into the video, leave a cat emoji. I mean, that's the winner. Leave a cat emoji if you made it this far in the video. Let me know that you're here. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you join the membership if you're interested. We are going to talk about the other Bone Shard Emperor and Bone Shard War in members only videos. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to my future content. I'll see you guys in the next video.